Go. How you doing? This is Mari Cruz, bringing the gap between the rich and the poor, coming from the great state of Texas. And I'm here with a friend, Fiona, and she is a proofreading ninja, meaning that if you need anything edited, anything fixed to the correct English and spelling and grammar, she knows how to do that. She's also an entrepreneur. And she, where are you from right now? Where are you now?
Scotland.
In Scotland. Yes. So I'm just excited about getting to know my friend better. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, and share. If you're in Facebook, please check it out. And if anybody wants to contact you, maybe you need to put another one of your pages that they can contact you. A link. Do you have a link tree?
Not yet. I do have a Proofreading Ninja Facebook page.
Okay, so you can add that in the comments, and so that people can follow you there, and stuff. There you go.
Okay, I'll try and do that.
Yes, and let me put this here big because my thing. So okay, there you go. So weird that I'm looking at myself. Okay, so as you do that, you told me a little bit about your background, that you travel the world, you live in Spain. I wanna talk a little bit about that because I think that's a very interesting thing. You know that most people stay where they were born and they never go anywhere. We're one of the few that go in places and live in other places. So I want you to talk about that, and then we're gonna segue into how you started your business and what you're doing now, and connect that with your proofreading thing. Does that make sense there?
It makes perfect sense.
Okay, because I mean, you're a horse trainer. I mean, you have a farm. I mean, I have chickens, and you're living the life that I want to live, but I'm still in the city. So, where had you been? First, where were you born? How did you get there, and how did you decided to just go on this adventure and be everywhere? I mean, seriously, and living somewhere where you didn't even speak the language. Seriously, I need to know about that.
Okay, well, I'm Scottish. I'm mainly Scottish, but I was actually born in Liverpool, which is not Scotland. So
That's okay.
very good that. We lived in Liverpool for about 6 months and then moved out to just outside. My name is Fiona Crawford. My dad ran the Crawford's biscuit factory near Liverpool. And he then got transferred up to close the one near Edinburgh. And so we moved to Scotland.
Oh my God, Edinburgh. I'm sorry, I don't know if you know that, but I am an Outlander fan. So I'm just here salivating because you're telling me about Edinburgh and all this stuff. And I'm just geeking out here. I'm sorry. I just keep talking about that. Oh my God. I'm just,
So that was, I mean, we moved to Scotland when I was about 4. And my closing down the factory sort of depressed my dad, and he decided he didn't want to work for the biscuit factory anymore, and he started farming. So he moved to where they are now.
Which is? It's not the same, not the biggest city. Don't say where you live, but like.
No. We're in Perthshire, or Perth and Kinross, it's now called. They bought the farm. Well, they moved in about 51 years ago. I know that because we had the 50-year anniversary last year.
Wow.
And so, they've been living there for 50 years. I lived there for about 10. And I was at school all that time. So I wasn't actually on the farm all that much.
What school did you go to? Did you go to Oxford or any of these interesting places?
No.
Or where did you study anyway?
I went to a school called St Leonard's, which is in St Andrews, and I didn't study as hard as I should have done. So I didn't pass all the exams I should have done, and the university I wanted to go on to, well, any university I wanted to go on to, basically I couldn't. So I studied. I'd since I was 7, I'd been brought up with ponies, and I'd been in the pony club and competed a lot and been very successful.
So are you
Uh,
a writer? Are you a writer too, or you're
oh yes,
just so you also write and you train horses.
I
You do
did. I
both.
don't anymore.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, so I came up through the pony club, and
Mm.
when I left school, I decided. I mean, I'd already decided that I was going to have a year off between school and university, and
Oh.
spend some of that training with horses anyway. Because I
Oh.
then didn't get into university, I just stayed with the horses. I did a
Okay.
3-month course to get my assistant instructor's exam, and then stayed on at that place. This was near
Mm.
Cirencester in the south of England. I then
Wow.
stayed on there for I can't remember how long, but I stayed on there longer, and I got half of the next exam up,
Mm.
and then went to Austria for originally for a 3-month holiday job. And I actually stayed in Austria training horses for 2 years.
Wow.
I between 3 different jobs. I moved.
Did you
So I
pick the
love.
language there too? Did you pick the language? Pick a little bit of
Yeah,
español?
when I came back from Austria, I spoke German fairly fluently, and unfortunately, I've lost it since.
That's too
Um,
midlife.
I did. I came back and decided I needed to get the other half of that teaching exam.
Okay.
So I spent a year at agricultural college and got the other half of the teaching exam, plus an advanced
Wow.
national certificate and things. But also decided during that year that I was going to apply to Oxford. What was Oxford Polytechnic, which is now Oxford
Mm.
Brookes University.
Okay.
Um, and I applied to do teaching and computer studies, and I ended up with a degree in psychology and sociology. So
Wow. How
you
that
can see I had
happened?
a bit of a change halfway through.
Oh, so you
Uh,
had like a sudden realization. I'm not liking this, and I need to just pivot and went
well, I
somewhere else. Would that make
realized
sense?
that if I continued with the computer studies, I wasn't going to get a degree. Um, and
Yeah.
and the teaching, I just didn't get on with the guy who ran the course, and I
Mm.
figured I could always do a year's postgraduate teaching
Yeah, of course.
anyway, so which I didn't end up doing because my life changed again. I went back to horses.
Okay.
So I then worked at a agricultural college. Well, no, actually, straight after university, I bought a livery yard, and that's where people keep horses on your property. And
Oh,
so I
so
ran.
you basically like board them. You
Yeah,
you you were boarding
exactly.
the horses and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
don't know what that's called in America, but it's a livery yard in Britain. Um,
Okay.
so I was teaching, I was looking after other people's horses, I was competing horses, I had a couple of my own. And I'd approached the local agricultural college because they had what was called YT students, youth training students.
Hmm.
So I approached them saying, if there were any who were local and wanted to work for me, they could, sort of thing.
Oh, cool.
By the way, I'm an instructor if you need an instructor. And so they took me on part-time pretty well immediately. And
Wow.
then I got a full-time job shortly after that. So I worked for them for several years.
Did you
And
get paid
then,
well? Did you get paid well for doing those
well, I
jobs,
mean,
or?
for horse work, it was paid quite well because it was a college as opposed to a horse establishment per
Oh, okay, that
se.
makes sense.
If
That
you
makes
work
sense.
with horses, you don't earn much money in Britain. I don't know about America, but in Britain, you don't.
Here, yeah, here. That's why I ask you, because here if you're dealing with racing horses, like the horses that are going to competitions and stuff, they pay well. That's why I ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, race horses in Britain, in other words, thoroughbreds, which just run races, they pay well. But
Mm.
anything else, any other competition
Oh,
horses,
okay.
don't,
Okay.
well, certainly didn't pay well. I don't know about now because I haven't been in horses in Britain for about 25 years.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure now, but they certainly didn't pay well then.
So how do you
Um,
go from college, horse on and off, to starting your business? And I know
well,
you were not living. I mean, and you didn't mention Spain. What happened? How you
no,
got
no,
into Spain?
that was I basically the college I was working at. They changed everything, and the horse side changed completely. They did still
Mm,
have some horses, but it was on a different site, which was quite a long way away. So I got the option of being made redundant, which I took.
hmm.
And at the same time, I was going through a divorce, and I had I I'd sort of thought maybe in the long term I'd move to France, but I was also looking for a
Mm,
new horse for myself because I didn't have a horse at that point, and I really
okay.
liked the Spanish horses. So when the opportunity came up to go to the south of Spain to look at horses, I went
Hmm.
with the idea I was going to buy one and bring it back to Britain. In the end, the
Mm,
guy offered me a job there, and
wow.
because my work was coming to an end and the I was going through the divorce and everything else, I thought, well, why not?
New
So I
start.
moved. So I moved to
Was
Spain.
that what you did? A new start. You said new start, new
Exactly.
place, new
Exactly.
area, new language, new job, new everything.
Yeah. So I had
Wow.
about 6 months before I moved, and I did start learning Spanish a bit for that 6 months because I mean I didn't speak a word of Spanish before that. Um,
Wow.
I bought a horse, by the way. She stayed over there until I went over and picked her
What
up and took her
was
back.
one of those horses the Paso Finos that they kind of like tiptoed, or was it a normal horse?
No. Paso come from one of the South American countries. I'm not sure which. No, these were purebred Spanish horses, otherwise
Okay.
known as Andalusians.
Oh,
Um,
Andalusians, yeah.
but not if you're in Spain. They're not called Andalusians because Andalusians, if you're in Spain, are a poor quality horse.
Oh my God.
And these are really nice ones.
Um,
Um, so I got over there and I started working for this guy, and it was supposedly selling properties and selling horses. Um,
oh, wow.
but basically, he took me to the cleaners, and that means that he did me out of quite a lot of money. And
So
um,
basically, he took advantage of you, is what you're saying. Yes, I got
yes, and so I ended
that.
up
Sucks.
training as an English teacher, and I got a job as an English teacher for a year. And
Mm.
by the end of that year, I was now speaking Spanish pretty well, and I realized I actually hated teaching English to children. Um, so, and someone said to me, "Why don't you become a translator?" So I then applied to all the translation agencies I could find in
Oh
the phone
no.
book, and one of them got back to me saying, I looked at your curriculum vitae and thought, I don't want an English teacher. Why is she writing to me? Oh, horses, 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 horses. And she did all the translation for the Spanish Horse Society, and she didn't know anything about horses.
Wow.
So I was employed to start with part-time as the horse expert, and that turned into a full-time job. So
Oh my
I was
God.
basically translating, which was where I started proofreading as well, because basically one of us would translate and the other would proofread everything we
Oh, so
did.
that's, and when
So
was that? That was like maybe 20 years ago or 10 years ago. I don't know.
no, this started about 20 years ago. Um,
Mm. Wow.
and I mean, I worked for her for full time for 10 years. And then the crisis came along and she couldn't afford to pay me. So
Oh man.
I carried on working for her part time after that, but went back into teaching English. And I got a job at a really nice place. And the first year I was teaching everybody, but after that I was specializing teaching really 15-year-olds upwards, but teaching them how to pass exams. So
Mm.
it was very much more specialized, and they actually wanted to pass the exams. So it wasn't like teaching children, which I hated.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So that was a little
so,
bit better.
so
So
I
when,
actually was good at that. So I was doing the
oh,
teaching and the proofreading. The teaching was full time and the proofreading was part time.
oh,
Um, and and proofreading and translating, the two together. And then I realized that I was going to be coming back to Scotland at some point because my parents were getting older and they needed someone to look after them. So I thought, well, what can I do aside from look after my parents? I needed something to earn money.
Yeah.
So I needed to do something really online. And that was when I started looking online for stuff. And this was about 4 years ago.
Wow. 4 years ago.
And to start with, I thought, well, I'll teach online, teach English online, because that people do that. And that's what I knew how to do. And then I met online in a group our mutual friend Jodie and her partner
Oh, Jody.
and she introduced me to funnels and these other things. So I then started thinking that it didn't have to be English, although I was still thinking that I would teach English, but it didn't have to be. It could be other things as well. And I had never even thought about translating or proofreading online at that point. But talking to my ex-boss, that was another option. She has now sold her business, which is why I no longer do any work for her, because she retired. She sold the translating business. Otherwise, I'd have still been doing some work for her.
Wow.
So I started doing proofreading, and in fact, I started proofreading for non-native English speakers online. But the number of non-native English speakers is high, but the number of non-native English speakers who could actually pay a proofreader was not very high.
Yes.
So because I thought that was a good niche to get into, because I'm an English teacher as well, so I can help them with their, with learning English. And I do, the few I've got, I do help with learning English as well. But I've broadened out now, so it's not just non-native English speakers.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because I don't know if I told you, but I went to university. My first time I went to University of Puerto Rico, I was studying French and German.
Right.
So I also done translating, interpreting, and also I know Spanish. So I taught Spanish and French to high schoolers because I was homeschooling, and adults. So we have some of the same background in this. Now, if I want to be going back to teaching people Spanish, I think I will have a better. I will be able to get more money, because usually you see what I mean. The audience is the opposite. That makes sense. And there's a lot of people that want to learn Spanish, but just like there's people that want to learn Spanish. So so you started then 4 years ago. And you still doing the
well, at that point I was still working at the college teaching English. And I was also still translating for my ex-boss part-time. So I wasn't doing very much online 4 years ago. I was really sort of finding out about it, learning about funnels, that sort of thing. And at that point, I was still thinking I was going to be teaching English. So I started doing online English teaching courses. But the main reason I'm not teaching English, I was teaching English when I left Spain. I was teaching English online while I was traveling. I spent a year traveling in a motorhome on the way back from Spain. But because I was specializing in passing exams, and I was no longer working for the college, I no longer had the extra training for when the exams changed. And
so you were not updated because you were not connected with that anymore.
Exactly. And I could update myself, but now, because I've left it for quite a long time, it would be a heck of a lot to do. So I'm not now teaching people to pass exams. If people want me to teach them English, I can teach them English, but not to pass exams, because I haven't got the up-to-date knowledge for the exams as they are today.
Have you ever thought to doing a proofreading course for? Because you see, this is my second language. Well, one of my 7 languages, but you know what I mean. It's not my
Yeah,
first language, and when I write, it's a mess. And
like me in
and I don't
Spanish,
think. Well, yeah, but like now I can even write in Spanish because
right?
I usually write in English. I was in college for the last 8 years, and everything was in English. Had you ever thought about maybe teaching proofreading to second English speaker, people? Because
Non-native English speakers.
yes, because again, especially the ones of us that are in college, or are in a very high position or whatever, everything we do is writing, and it was a disaster. So I gotten better with my writing, but my writing is just not good, and I know that for
Yeah,
sure.
well, I mean, I can teach you. Really, the people who I teach English to now, it's more a case. Everyone's different with what they make mistakes with. Although Spanish speakers make specific mistakes, and French speakers will make specific other mistakes. It
But
tends.
they never take into consideration when you're in college if you're a second speaker of the language. They don't care.
No,
They
no, I
treat you
can
like
see
they
that.
treat you like everybody else, and it's not the same because we have. I mean, I have so many languages in here that
Mm.
that becomes it can be good for the speaking, but for the writing, it can be a mess.
Yeah,
But
you can get very
they
confused.
don't think about that,
Yeah,
or that I have health issues and I'm in medication,
yeah.
and that doesn't help you think correctly and write correctly either.
No, no.
See what I mean?
But I mean, if anyone wants me to proofread, I can proofread, and whether you're native or non-native or whatever, I can proofread. Um, Although I started out proofreading with horse stuff, um, when I was working for the translation girl, it wasn't just horses. We did golf, we did horses, we did medical, we did psychology. We did quite a lot of work for the psychology department at Seville University.
That's technical stuff that is not easy to translate. By the way, I need to say that.
No, but having done a psychology degree helps me a bit there. Um,
Okay.
so,
So so
I mean,
so so I have a
the
question,
technical
Fiona.
medical stuff, she tended to translate and I'd proofread because I didn't know the technical medical stuff. Um, but I could proofread it.
So Fiona, so all the things that you've done with the horse and the teaching and all this stuff
Mm.
and the proofreading and the business and the work side of it, because all the stuff that you mentioned seem very, very hard labor and outdoorsy, because I'm not an outdoorsy person, just saying, but I'm not. I'm
I'm
a
a
city
very
girl.
outdoorsy person.
Um, but the amount of work from doing all the stuff you did before and the amount of work that we do in a digital business. Can
It's
you talk a little bit about that? About because I know that my motto is work smart, not hard. Because
yeah, which
I guess you know what
I'm
I
not
mean. Like
terribly good at that yet. Um,
no,
I
but that, I know, but we're talking just focusing on all this that you did before and what you're doing now. The amount of level of work, because there's a lot of people. Why I'm doing asking you this question, because a lot of people that are doing blue collar and white collar jobs, they're getting hurt. They're breaking their bodies
yeah, which is
by
why I don't
working.
ride anymore.
Thank you. By working 40, 60, 80 hours, maybe getting hurt in the job, getting a hand broken or whatever, they don't get paid enough for that. Putting their life in danger. Can you tell me a little bit about? I mean, because the horse thing that you were doing was dangerous. A horse can
Yeah,
kick you
well,
out and just take you
when
out. Did you ever
when
get
I
hurt?
was when I was about 21, actually, it wasn't a horse. I was working with the horses in Austria, but I wrote a car off and I broke my back. And I thought I'd never be able to ride again, but yes, that I was able to ride again. It took a while. And then when I was about 28, I had an accident with the horse, and the horse did a somersault and landed on top of me. And I broke my pelvis quite badly then.
So you get what I'm saying? All these
Yeah,
things, and I'm not
yeah.
talking about just the horse thing. I'm
No, no,
talking
no.
about blue collar and white collar jobs,
Yeah.
which
I mean,
they don't get paid enough to put their life in danger. Or military jobs, because I was in the military. My
mhm.
husband was in the military. We worked overtime, and we didn't get paid anything. By the way, I mean I'm
No,
happy
no.
to serve my country, and we did it willingly. But what I'm saying is, we kept struggling because we didn't make more money than $2,000 a month for a family of four, and
Yeah,
all
which is
that work and all
not
that
enough.
overtime we didn't get paid. Now, here, what are we doing? Is it is it easier compared to what you've done in all the horses and everything else in that sense? Is my
Well,
question.
physically, clearly, it's much easier because you sit in front of the computer or stand in front of the computer if you have a standing computer. Um, uh, Mentally, it's somewhat different. You've got to get your head around the different way of doing things, and you've got to learn new skills. And I'm still I mean, if I'm going to sit down and proofread, I can sit down and proofread. But when you come to building funnels and all these the
Automation stuff,
background,
the
sorry,
automation stuff, the
yeah, the
automation things.
automation stuff and the background stuff, you've got to learn how to do it. It's perfectly relatively straightforward to learn how to do it. Once you've learned how to do one, you can copy it over to other things. Um, so you do need to spend a fair amount of time learning how to do it. Once you've learned it, then it's pretty easy to duplicate for, if you want to make a landing page, you make one, you can then duplicate it for anything else you want to use it for, changing it a little bit, and
Yeah, clone it, and then edit the colors and
exactly.
the schemes and moving the columns. So, um, when I'm doing videos, I try to answer objections. That I always do that because people say, "Well, I'm old and I can't do it." You
Well,
started 4 years ago. 4 years ago, you started
yeah,
4 years.
and I'll be
I don't
58
want you
this
to
year.
tell me your age, but
No, I'll be 58 this year. So
most people start a business when they were 20. So compared to other things, this is not as difficult as, I mean, maybe growing horses or racing horses or riding horses or teaching Spanish or proofreading, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So one. So two, you're busy with a farm and you're still doing stuff. So the people
no,
that
well,
say,
I'm not busy with the farm. I have. I mean, I now am living 1 mile from my parents who are on the
oh, okay.
farm. I help them a bit at the moment. I have a cottage. I've been working very hard on getting the cottage to my liking and
Mm,
building the garden up, because basically it was just lawn and gravel before, and it's
oh
now
my
I've
God.
got a vegetable plot, and it's all quite good. So I've been working very hard on that. So I do stuff outside, and then I come inside and do the online stuff.
Mm.
So it is the online stuff you can do. You don't have to be doing it full time to start with. You can start
Yeah, yeah.
doing it, around whatever else you're doing, in the evenings if you've got a normal 9 to 5 job, or before your work, or
Yeah, that's what I was
however you
going.
fit in.
You
Yeah.
you got what I was going. That's what I was going because we got people working a 9 to 5
Hmm.
doing affiliate try it and decide and all this stuff. So it's not, plus it depends on what program you're in, because if you have, like in the old program that I'm not going to mention the name of the other program, if you have to learn all this stuff and do all of it yourself, you're going to take a lot of time and effort
Yeah.
that you might not have. But with the program we're in, Affiliate Triad specifically, a lot of the things that are the difficult things, we already got them already done, or we can
Yeah.
implement them in 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
it
We don't
doesn't
have to
take,
do too much.
so we don't have to do that much. We just have to create content or use the content they give us in the email swipes and then
Yeah.
use that to email the people or to make a video or post it in Facebook or whatever. So that's what I was
Yeah.
trying. That's what I was trying to go with that. So
Yeah.
how long you take for your business, um, like in a week?
Not long enough. I need to do less with my house and more with my business. I'm very good at procrastinating the business and doing the
Mm.
house stuff.
So
But
maybe you need an accountability partner and
probably,
just like me that is gonna hold you to your feet, your fire to your feet, and you need to be like working on the week to do your business and on the weekend do your other stuff. And
yeah.
that way, you're not gonna feel guilty when you're like, oh my God, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and we're doing this campaign. The campaign is about to be done, and
No,
now
when
is
we
like,
have a campaign, I'm pretty good. I sit down and I do it. It's the extra stuff, like all the evergreen stuff, which is uh, not within the campaign. And, I'm not quite so good at getting on and doing that, which I've got to do because, I've started now. And if someone comes and says, "Can you proofread something?" I'm straight in and I'll do it. As many of my people will testify to. Um,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but yeah, and the evergreen stuff I'm starting to get set up. And as I said to you, I don't have a link tree yet. I mean, I do. I've set the page up, but it hasn't got the links on it yet
okay,
because I haven't set up the evergreen funnels properly yet. So I've got to do
okay,
that to put them onto the links.
okay,
Um, and the proofreading ninja at the moment doesn't have it. I've got my Facebook page, but I don't have a landing page or a website. I'm not sure I'm going to have a website for proofreading ninja, but I should have a landing page at least where people can land and then they can contact me straight away.
okay.
um,
That's good to know. That's good to know
and
because I know a lot of people need that, especially the college level, because
Yeah.
college
Well, I mean,
needs.
what I usually do with that is people contact me directly, and I will then talk to them and ask them what they want, and then they'll send me an example or even the whole thing that they want doing, and
Mhm.
I'll do a sample of roughly 1,000 words for them, and I'll work out roughly how long it's going to take and what the cost of the whole thing would be. So. It tends at the moment to be people that I know or who I've met through the affiliate triad group because that's how they contact me.
Yeah, well,
Um,
anybody that is interested in that, just contact me too, because I can actually contact
yeah,
Fiona directly because
exactly.
we're close. So just contact me and I will give you, I will talk to her about the information and all this stuff. And maybe you can give me your information. I give it to her and all this stuff. Because now, I mean, it doesn't matter you're in Scotland now. We have WhatsApp and you can call
Yeah,
somebody without having to spend money. But,
exactly.
it's funny that you mentioned Evergreen because I was thinking of just focusing on evergreen instead of every campaign that comes. Because if you're doing Pinterest, for example, you're using
It's much
Pinterest
better
and
with the evergreen.
it's long-term campaigns, not
Yeah,
just a short campaign, then I can actually just focus more on the long stuff and just
yeah,
do Pinterest because I enjoy making pins and doing story pins and all this stuff. Instead of feeling like I'm in a race against time. Do you feel like that? Every time we have a campaign, I'm
yeah.
like, clock, tick tock, and I'm like, oh my God, it's just gonna end. And I don't like feeling like rushed, if that makes
No,
sense.
I agree. It is always very. Oh, we've got to get it done. We've got to get it done. But I seem to do that. That seems to be a good way of working for me in some ways. But the long term stuff that once you get it up, it's there and it just keeps going. That is so much more relaxed.
Stable, because once you said it, because this is another thing that you just mentioned, when you said a campaign that is going to end, that's going to be a week. And once you do the work and it closes, that's it. That's going to
Yeah,
disappear. But
yeah,
the evergreen campaigns are going to stay
they're there.
there. They're
Yeah,
not going to go. And I can keep
no,
promoting them
yeah,
every day, every day, every day until I get the
exactly,
sales that I need. So that's
exactly.
what I was thinking. I was just like, trying to
Um,
see how I can just, work this. But now, no, the November thing that we're having, which I was going to mention, which is going to be big on the crypto thing,
yeah,
that
that's
we need to
definitely
promote.
going to be big.
If
I
you
mean,
don't promote that,
I had
we're going to miss.
someone, I had someone who'd heard about it come to me last week and saying, "Are you promoting it?" And I said, "No, but I can get you a link to do it." And she's ended up buying. Now she came to me saying, "Are you promoting it?" And I had not said anything about it. But after she did that, then I
Did you get
started.
anything for that sale?
Yeah, because I went half and half with someone.
Okay, so that's good to know because I was like, because that's why I don't know if you noticed. I asked in the Slack. I said, "Are we promoting this?" Because I saw a lot of people promoting it,
Yeah.
saying crypto this, crypto that, and I said, "Why is it that I can't promote it yet?" Because I'm not stupid, you know what I mean?
No, 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 that's right.
So that's good
Um,
to know. So if I send somebody, well, it's gonna be close anyway, close today
no,
anyway,
it's,
so it
it
doesn't
is
matter.
closed now. It is closed now. So, but yeah, the evergreen stuff, yes, you do you put it up and then it's done, and it'll keep going. And yes, you can keep promoting and changing things in that way. Um, and then, I mean, I've got to work out how to link it to me, all these things to me, because I'm actually, although I'm proofreading ninja, I'm also in the health side of stuff.
Oh,
So
really? What do you do with the health side of stuff?
well, I trained as a nutritionist last year.
Okay, now I'm starting to see a picture, Fiona,
Because
because a lot
I
of
sort of
us
geek
are
out on
overachievers
health.
and we like too many things.
Yeah. um
And that might be an issue
yeah, well,
when
this
you
is this is part of the problem, that but I mean, health is a really big part of my life, as in diet, chemical free, no sugar, that sort of thing. I lost about 30 kilos when I went on this
wow,
this diet. But I mean, when I say this diet, I mean this way of living, because I've never been
yeah,
hungry. And
wow.
so, I'm really very much a proponent of eating healthy and living healthy. I mean, I try and keep my whole house as chemical free.
Yeah, yeah, and
Um,
I agree with you
so,
in that because I have health issues, which I
yeah,
understand. I just try not to like spread myself thin. You know what I mean? Because
I
I'm
know,
already
but this is where I want to try and link the health side with the affiliate marketing side,
mm,
because I have started a Facebook group, although I haven't actually opened it to anyone yet. I've set it up, and I will be opening
mm,
it in the next few days. Um, uh, and it's more the health side. So I've got to work out exactly how to focus the the health and some of the affiliate things, because all the mindset stuff can go into that.
but yeah, if I was you, I would be promoting butch. Well, I don't know what kind of if you're gonna be is your audience in United States or England, but if I was like doing a page on health, I will be promoting Butcher Box, which is an organic beef, organic meat, how you call it, subscription, and I will be
Yeah.
promoting Farm
Well,
Box Direct, which
I
is
need to
organic
look at those sort of things
veggies
to,
and all that stuff.
promote.
So that
Yeah.
yeah, because you get a cut of that. So that's what
Yeah.
I will be promoting if you want to deal with a diet
Yeah.
and then the
Well,
mindset is personal development, which goes back
yeah.
to AT. Then you
Well,
see
it,
what
it links between the two, because it's health, but it's also,
I
linking
mean?
to making money, and as such it's personal development, but it's, you know um
Hmm.
I'm also, I am in an MLM company which is health supplements. And
Is
before
that
I
the
got
one that
into
Donna is doing too? Is it Donna
Donna,
in you?
I'm not sure. Jackie is.
Oh, Jackie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
huh.
I made sure before I got into it, Jackie got me into it. I made sure before I got into it that it is chemical free, organic. You know, it's all
So how are you
clean.
doing with that one? How are you doing sales
Well,
with
I'm
that
not
one?
yet. I'm trying a little bit, but I'm concentrating too much on other things, really. But again, once I have my health group up, I will be promoting it. I mean, I'm promoting it on Instagram now, um, and on my health ish Facebook page. Um,
Mm.
but in the group, I will be promoting that a lot more
Oh, okay.
because it's a health
Interesting.
group and it's a health supplement. So you know, the group is the will bring together a lot of things.
Mm.
I mean, it's nothing to do with proofreading, but the proofreading is nothing to do with the health or with affiliate triad.
Oh,
Um,
but it's one of your business. That's why I wanted
yeah,
you to mention
exactly.
one of your businesses.
It is one of my businesses, but it's sort of separate from the other two, the health and the affiliate triad. Whereas the health and the affiliate triad can be linked together.
Well, I would say that you can link the proofreading ninja because the people that are going to make the books and leave
Oh
faucets need
yeah,
a proofreader.
well that's
You
where
see what I
I've got a
mean?
lot of clients recently. You know, I've recently been proofreading books written by people in affiliate triad who want, you know, who've done their books and they want them to be good. I mean, I proofread Jonathan's book, for example, and Dan's one, and a couple of people who've now left affiliate triad. But yeah, you know, and I proofread for affiliate triad as well,
Okay. So
or rather for Rapid Crush.
basically, Fiona is
Mm.
has multiple sources of income. Like we say in our space,
Yes,
content is king. Multiple sources of income. Of course, when you're starting anew, it's better
you
to just
don't
have
want too many.
one source, and focus on one thing, and then add more as
Yeah,
you go and you learn.
yeah,
Not to start
exactly.
all over the place and be overwhelmed.
I mean,
But yeah,
the proofreading for me at the moment is more like my
side hustle.
the normal job. It's the one that
Oh,
brings
your
in,
normal job.
you know what I mean. I love proofreading and I have no problem with continuing to do it. But I don't have, because I'm now in Scotland and I left my, you know, my work in Seville. I don't
Mhm.
have a normal job, so I
Mm.
count the proofreading more as the normal job, and the
Oh,
affiliate
okay.
marketing and the health is the extra things
Oh,
that
okay.
I'm now trying to do more with. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you still had time to fix your house and do the garden and all this other stuff.
Yeah, well, those take up the time of the normal job, of course. So
Oh my God. Your life is just so interesting. I'm sorry. I mean,
well, I
um,
don't get out much, but then again, this last year, no one's got out much. So what difference did
well,
it
I mean,
make?
because of the pandemic, nobody's getting out. But what I'm saying is that you've been in places that most people haven't been, and you've done things that most people haven't done, and you should be proud of that because that takes courage,
Mm, yeah,
and that takes just a confidence in yourself to leave everything and live in a place where you never talk to the language and a complete different culture. That is something that talks about your adaptability as a person, and that's emotional IQ. I mean EQ, which I've been reading in the book Influenced by Cialdini.
right. Well, I mean,
So
certainly
I,
the moving
uh
to Spain was a big thing, and then the moving back again was a very big thing as well. I lived in Spain for 20 years, which is the longest I've ever lived in one
wow.
place in my whole life, because I lived here where I am now for 10 years, as I say, from, well, it might have been 11, but it was from about the age of
Mhm.
6, 7 until about the age of 17. And as I
Wow.
say, half that time I was, well, more than half, I was at school. Um,
Mm.
So, and then I went down south and did the horse thing, and then I went off to Austria for 2 years, and then I studied at university, and then I had the yard, and then I
Oh
went
my
to
God.
Spain, where I was for 20 years. And
So
coming back
when you
here,
came back to Scotland,
it
how
was a hell of a
different
culture
was it?
shock.
How
It was a
different
hell of
was
a
it?
culture shock coming back here.
Really? Why?
Well, I mean, okay, I am British, so it was less of a culture shock than were it a Spanish person to come back here. But I had got so used to, I mean, I didn't live in a British enclave in Spain to start with. I lived
Mhm.
in a small village which was basically all Spanish. I mean, there were one or two British people there, but when I say one or
Mm.
two, I mean one or two.
Oh my God.
Everyone else is Spanish. Yes, for the last 6 years, I worked in Seville in this college where everyone was, well, not everyone actually, but most people were not Spaniards.
Oh really?
There were Americans, Australians, Brits, and all sorts. So I had got back a bit into the more British side of thinking, but still, I was used to living like a Spaniard. The shops were all open at whatever times they open there. They all shut from 2 o'clock till about 5 o'clock because that's how they do it in southern Spain. And you have to queue for hours to do anything. You can't do most things over the internet. You can't get your passport by mail. You have to go and queue
What?
for it. All these things which had been a real pain in the neck when I first got there, I'd got so used to that when I came back here and I had to do everything over the internet or by phone, it was a real shock. And I
Oh
mean,
my
even
God.
today, I dropped something off in a shop this morning and they said, oh, to be ready by 1 o'clock. And I was walking the dog and it was 1 o'clock and I thought, oh my God, I'm not there. Do they shut for lunch? And if they do, what time is the lunch? Because I haven't got a clue. So I then had to come back and ask my neighbour, look, I don't know if this shop shuts for lunch or not, but if it does, what time would it open again? He said, oh, probably 2 o'clock. And I got there and it actually hadn't shut for lunch. But, a lot of shops do shut for lunch. That's why I wanted to not go and to pick it up when it was shut. But, I mean, I still haven't got into the British way of doing things at all. Well,
After
I have
11
to some
years?
extent.
After 11 years?
Well, I mean, I've been back here for 1 year.
Oh, 1 year.
I came back here. I was traveling back when France shut down. I was in France when
Oh,
France shut down last year
wow.
at the end of March. So rather than continue with the planned journey, which was to stay in France until May and then to spend from May until the end of August traveling up Britain, I pretty well came straight back here at the end of March.
Oh my
So I
God.
haven't been back here for that long, just since the end of March. And the year before that, I was traveling because when I sold the property and left Spain, I realized that I'd lived in Spain for 20 years, but I hadn't seen any of Spain.
What?
So,
Are you kidding me?
well, I'd seen Seville, and I'd also been to a village near Madrid to visit my partner's part of his family. But I mean, apart from that, I really hadn't seen anything of Spain.
Oh
So
my God.
I did some house sitting and saw various parts of Spain, and I bought a motorhome. So I motorhome between the house sits, and I saw quite a bit of Spain. Then I went into France and saw quite a bit of France, and I was going to see a lot more of France, but couldn't,
Then
like
the
everyone
pandemic
else,
came and
couldn't
then everything
continue.
messed up for everybody.
Exactly.
But France
So
is beautiful and Spain too, because I've been both. So
yeah. I mean, France, I
Germany
fell
is
in love with
beautiful too.
all the medieval villages.
Italy, beautiful. The Netherlands, beautiful.
Well, I want to visit all these places with my motorhome.
The
That's
only
a
place that I didn't go is United Kingdom, the Isles
yeah. Well,
around United Kingdom,
bad
and
girl,
the what?
bad girl. You've got to come to Britain,
And
United
Sweden. But
Kingdom.
everywhere else I've been. Everywhere in Europe I've been.
Right.
Just those two places. And my girlfriend said she invited us to Sweden for to stay in her house. She said, "You have been in Europe unless you come to Sweden." And I bet you're gonna tell me you haven't been in Europe if you haven't been in United Kingdom. And I
Well, I
agree.
agree, but we're no longer Europe since
Yeah,
Brexit.
I know, because you got Brexit. I know Brexit.
But I mean, yeah, we're still part of the European continent. So,
Yeah,
um, although we're an island off the continent, but yeah, I mean, you must come, and I have invited you to come and stay
yeah, I
sometime.
know. I want to
So
go. It's just it's just so far away.
it
It
is.
will be one day traveling there, one day traveling back,
Yeah.
and then we stay for like a week or something. How much can you see in a week?
No, you if you're coming over from the States to Britain, you need to be here for more than a week. I mean, it's
Mm.
like when I went to Morocco and I had 5 days because I was in the south of Spain staying with a friend and I had to be in Seville for a doctor's appointment 5 days later, well, 6 days later.
Wow.
And it was the only time I could go to Morocco. So I booked it. I with the motorhome. I went across on the ferry, spent 5 days going around a short trip around Morocco and then back to Seville. And it was way too short. And I vowed I'm going back for at least a month next time. But
Mm.
it's like come and that was Morocco, which was close to where I was. You are coming from the States to Europe. It's a
From
long,
Texas.
long way. I mean, you need more than a week. And anyway, if you want to see the United Kingdom, you need more than a week.
Mm.
You know, it it
But you
it
see,
just
going back to what we're discussing about having a business, I doesn't matter where I am as long as I have my laptop and Wi-Fi. I can work
exactly,
anywhere. I can be working where with you over there for a couple of
exactly,
weeks, and it doesn't matter. And then be having enjoying my life and not
yeah,
be stuck to one place. Like some
exactly,
people are. Because I mean, 9 to 5 is boring. And let's be real. How many people are doing what they love?
yeah.
A very
There's that as
small
well.
number. Maybe if I would say 25% of less of people are working in what they love, I think
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I know.
So,
I mean, that's where with the horses, I was working with what I love, but I was
mm,
earning peanuts. Whereas if you work online, you can work with what you love and earn a decent amount. Or even if you
exactly,
don't love what you're doing, you aren't doing it for so many hours. So
exactly,
you can work at whatever it is online and then do what you love the rest of the time
exactly.
and enjoy yourself. And I mean, when I was traveling around Spain and France in my motorhome, I was visiting these wonderful places, and then in the evening, I was sitting down and working. I used my phone to get a hotspot to get on the internet, and so I was in my motorhome and I was working. And a lot of people
Mm.
do that.
And life is too short, don't you think? Because you had two
Yeah,
accidents. I live with health issues
yeah,
every day. Life is too short, and
like
the pandemic has made everybody aware that some people think they're never going to die. The younger people, the younger generations. I'm invincible, blah blah blah, and then we got people falling, dying left and right. That if you're not living right in the now, you're wasting your life and you're gonna
yeah,
be stuck. And that's not the way. I don't know about you, but I have I'm a musician. I sing, I do things,
right,
and I'm able to do all these things because of what I do. And I
yeah.
wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
No,
Oh,
that's right. And the other thing about the pandemic that people now are aware of is that you can work on the internet because so many people have had to. And so
exactly.
suddenly now everyone's, oh, it's not so strange. We can do this. Whereas before they were all looking at people like us and saying, what on earth are you doing? Now
We
it's
were doing what we knew was gonna happen in the future because I told my husband
yeah,
when I got the chickens and doing the business, it said it's gonna be a time there's not gonna be any eggs. When the pandemic happened, people started, I don't know about there, but people started stockpiling and there was no eggs anywhere. I was selling
right.
eggs.
Yeah,
I
great.
was selling eggs. And I told my husband, you didn't believe me. It happened. The same with the business. Well, I still have a business and I'm still working and
Yeah,
I'm still making money and I'm
yeah,
not stuck with whatever because the
yeah,
employer fired me and blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
So
Yeah, I mean, working online is so flexible because you can do it from anywhere. It means that you can. It depends what you do online, but most things that you do online are not going to stop just because something changes like the pandemic. They're gonna keep on going. And if you're doing things like affiliate marketing, well, then you're selling other people's stuff, so you choose to sell what's selling.
exactly.
you know
And now
um,
another pandemic has made more people aware that
yeah.
maybe a 9 to 5 is not the normal way, because now everything is Zoom and online this, online that. By the number of sales of shopping has gone up, the number of
Hmm.
people starting a business has gone up.
Hmm.
Get in the thick of it now before everybody starts finding out, hey, I need to start a business. And then you're like, oh, well, now everybody has an online business and you're one of the few that didn't get in time. Like the crypto thing. The crypto
Yeah,
thing in
well,
November is going to be
I
big.
think crypto, there's still time to get in, although it would be a good idea to do it now, because cryptocurrency is quite low. Although I was talking to my brother last night. My brother's a big financial whiz kid. He worked in the city in London for a long time.
Oh,
He's not working there now. But I was talking to him about crypto last night, and he was saying that he doesn't know much about crypto, but he has a friend who does, and they've just sold all their crypto because they reckon it's going to go down way more.
hmm.
So I was really surprised, but
No, why are
even
you
if it
surprised?
does
Because
go
I've been
down
checking.
way more, it'll go
It's
up
been
again.
fluctuating. It's been fluctuating for the last
Yeah.
2 months. But
Oh
now,
yeah.
going back to what we're doing and what we're promoting in November, because I'm already promoting
Yeah.
this and it's not November. I'm doing a
No.
page and I'm going to be getting people for the wait list before
Oh
then.
good. Yep.
That it doesn't matter with this plan. It
No,
doesn't
it
matter
doesn't
if it
matter.
goes up or it goes down. You still
Exactly.
make money no
Yep.
matter what. And there's no
Exactly.
other program that actually can do that. And there's no other place that we can actually promote that unless you're an affiliate triad.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
again, we got exclusive things that nobody else has, and that's one thing
Exactly.
that I like being in this and stuff. I mean, depending on what program are you're promoting and what thing, but oh my God, this was amazing, Fiona.
Uh,
Thank you for coming. Oh my God, your life is so interesting. If you thought your life was boring, it is not.
uh, I never thought my life was boring. I know
Good,
it's
good.
been an interesting life. Um, yeah, absolutely. But
Fascinating. You need to write a book about your life. Seriously. Why you haven't
you are the
wrote a
third
quote
person this
yet?
week who said that. I'm not a
You need to
writer.
write a book of
I'm not a
everything.
writer. I'm a proofreader. I correct other people's writing, which I'm fine
Well,
at,
but
but I'm
but
not a
tell your
writer.
story, because your story is amazing, and what you've been, what you've gone through. I mean, it's just amazing, and you need to, and people need to read that. It's like a novella, basically. Seriously, like a living novella of a real person. And like Mark Twain said, uh, um, is it reality is strange? No, fiction. What is that expression? Um,
I know the one
reality
you're
is
talking about, but I can't think what it is.
stranger. Um, reality is stranger than fiction.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, and that actually encapsulates your life. So
Is my
seriously,
life that strange?
no, I don't say that it's strange, but
Possibly.
it's just interesting, and it makes it. It should be a novella. Seriously, like a
No,
soap
well,
opera.
I do want to write a book of the type that Jonathan does his course about, but I haven't got time to do that at the moment. And for a long time when I was in Spain, I was going to write a cookbook, which was going to be half Spanish, half English.
Ooh.
So all the recipes were going to be in both. My Spanish isn't brilliant, but I mean, it's perfectly understandable for that. Um, but it was going to be a bit more than just a cookbook. But now that I've changed my diet completely, that's really gone out the window, because all the recipes that I used to use are no longer fitting with my diet.
Can
So,
you adapt them? Can you adapt those recipes to your diet?
well, some I have, but to fill a book, it would be tricky. Um, but I'm working on that. But the other thing is, when I first went over to Spain, I did round robin emails, which I sent
Mm.
to all my friends, and I kept them all. But then they fizzled out, and I kept them all, thinking, because someone fairly early on said to me, "You should turn these into a book." And so I had thought about it, and someone just 2 days ago said to me, "You remember those emails you sent out? You need to put those together into a book." The trouble is that they fizzled out. And so,
What were the emails about? What was it?
about
I
my
mean,
life, everything I was doing, how I moved there and everything that I was doing, basically.
but that should be interesting again because it's connected to your life again.
Yeah. But then I stopped doing the emails, just because
Mm.
life got in the way. And so yeah, you've got all that, but then it stops. So I'm not quite sure how I would continue
You
with
can
that.
actually just end it. You know what happened after until
Yeah.
today. It's not like you don't know your life. You're not gonna forget your life. You just
No.
finished it.
Yeah, well, it would be quite difficult, but I mean, it's another thought. Anyway, right at the moment, I haven't got time. So I've got other things I've got to concentrate on, and there's plenty of those.
Well, I know, like next week's campaign. But
Yes.
oh my God. Well, thank you for coming. Oh my God, Fiona, seriously.
Well, thank you.
Whenever you have your page, let me know so I can add that to the description box in this video in
Yeah.
YouTube so
Well,
that
I've
people can
put
contact
the
you.
Proofreading Ninja Facebook page. I've
Let me see.
shared on the chat. And I was going to share the health. Hang on, let me just find it. The health group.
Okay, I'm putting it here. Put it here in the comments so people can see it.
Okay, this is my. I mean, I may be able to change it to have its proper name there, but that's my health group. That at the moment, if anyone does apply, I'm not accepting, because it's not
Okay.
finished being properly set up yet. But it will be finished set up fairly shortly.
Okay, so I put it here, proofreading ninja.
Just if you want to know what it's called Happy Body and Mind Naturally Balanced Lifestyle.
Okay. Okay,
That is
so
the name of
whenever you
the.
have that complete and open, then give it to me so I can add it here to this video
Yeah,
because I'm gonna forget. But thank you for coming. I mean, this was really interesting interview, and no matter where you are, live your life. You see, Fiona is an example
absolutely.
of that. I mean, I'm an example of that because I've been everywhere too.
Of course.
But the point is, life is now. Carpe diem is now, not tomorrow, not
And
wait
you
till
don't know
you're
what's going to happen tomorrow.
exactly,
You know,
exactly.
yes, you may be here or you may not be. So on the positive side that you're going to be here, then you need to be earning some money. On the negative side that you're not, well, you need to be living your life now. So
And in the
do both.
negative side, if you're gone and you're happy and what will happen to your family? Is your family ready
There is
for
that
your
as
loss?
well.
Is the other question.
Yeah.
Because I
And
know
it
that something happens to me, my husband is going to be taken care of. I have life insurance and I have a
right.
business, but not everybody has that and that assurance. When
No.
my grandpa died of cancer in 1992, he was going to retire from, he did 20 years in the Army, 20 years as an American Airlines manager. He was retiring. He started getting sick. 6 months later, he was gone. Cancer, stage 4 colon cancer.
Oh God.
He wanted to he already been everywhere in the world, but he wanted to travel with us and spend it with his grandkids and wife.
Hmm.
He wasn't able to enjoy his retirement. But you know what he did? When he died, he actually paid everything, and my grandma was set.
Right.
He must have left her at least $2.5 million because my grandma lived with that money for 20 something years until 2 years ago when she died.
That's
And
excellent.
when
Yeah.
she died, she was able to pass money to my aunt.
Yeah.
So just imagine how much money for 20 something years that you have. If you
Yeah.
calculate $60,000, which is the minimum, it's more. I mean, if you did, if I think it was more than that, but it just we never knew. But not
Yeah.
everybody. I would say that rather everybody mostly, it they don't have their things prepared, and
No,
when
I
they
mean,
die, they
I have basically no pension. The work I did in Britain, my pension when I retire will be about £1,000 a year.
uh,
And I have a very, very small pension from the time I was in Spain. I can't even remember how much it is, but it's a very small amount. Therefore, that's one of the reasons I'm building up this business now, because I have nothing to live on when I retire. And
mhm.
officially, I could retire in 8 years' time. So I need to have some income.
Yeah, and I hope
So,
that you think about life insurance because life insurance is also another
yeah, well, at the
investment
moment,
that
I
you
don't
do.
even have that, but
Yeah, but I'm
that
I'm
will,
saying in the next future, once
yeah.
you can actually, for like a
But
year from now,
but
you can do
you
that.
see, I don't have family. I mean, I have my parents and I have my brothers, but I don't have a husband or boyfriend, and I don't have children.
Mm,
So I don't have to worry about the children because I don't have
mhm,
any. But I do have to live.
exactly.
So if the worst came to the worst, well, not quite the worst, but almost the worst, and I could no longer work and I could no longer do physical things, I would have nothing to pay for my life at the moment. So that's why I'm trying to build up the business because I need to live.
Hmm.
So
So I hope you guys learn because seriously, guys, I mean, life is too short. So
it
I'm gonna
is.
let you go. Thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
again, I hope that you liked the interesting life of Fiona. Every time I hear your name, Fiona, it reminds me of Shrek. I'm
Well, of
sorry.
course, because of Princess Fiona, but
But
it's
anyway,
funny,
so
in Spain, everyone would say, "What are you called?" And I'd say Fiona, and they'd say, "Whew, that's a strange name." And then Shrek came out, and so they'd say, what's your name?" "Fiona." "Oh, like in Shrek." I say, "Yeah," because they'd never heard the name Fiona until Shrek came out.
hey Fiona, do you have a YouTube channel or anything?
No,
Okay.
I do, but I don't use it. So
So we need to
um,
get that back up. So if you need help with that, I can help you with that. Okay.
well, I mean, I my YouTube channel, I think it's called Aim for Freedom as well. But I've got nothing on it because I'm not a video person generally. But
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
know, but you can actually make videos without showing your face and just showing your screen, like
yeah,
when
I
you're
don't
doing that.
mind showing my face. It's just you've got to do it. And I'm doing other things, and I don't know how to make videos, and it's another thing to learn. It's something I want to learn how to do is making videos. But doing sort of Facebook lives and things, yeah, I know how to do those. But if I then have to do any editing or anything else,
Yeah, I don't edit my videos. I
right?
never edit my videos because I want to be real and I want
Yeah.
people to see it as is, and I leave it like that. I'm not aiming for perfection. There's no perfection. So,
Well,
but I
certainly
let you
when I
go.
was traveling back, I did a
Huh?
lot of videos in
You
each of the
did?
villages I stopped in. I did videos, which and most of them were not live because I didn't have good enough internet. So I just did the video, and
Do you
and
still
then I
have them?
posted them on Facebook.
Do you
And they
still
are
have them?
something that I ought to upload onto YouTube, and I haven't yet. So,
Oh my God, you have so much content.
well,
And
yes,
you
but
can
it's travel content, which is
it
nothing to
doesn't
do with.
matter because the travel content, remember Jody, Roman Jody, to travel, you need money. How do you
Yeah,
make money while you're traveling? A business, an online
yeah.
business with affiliate marketing. It's connected.
Okay.
So, so you see again, maybe we need to talk more to connect things in your mind and stuff. But thank you so much, and I see you later. Okay,
Thank you very much.
bye, friend.
Right. Bye.
Bye. So that was my friend Fiona, guys. That was amazing. So if you're traveling, if you working on a job you hate and you're bored, life is too short. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, and share. I want to hear from you. This is Mari Cruz, bridging the gap between the rich, the poor, and the handicapped, coming from the great state of Texas. Take care. God bless and start the trial.